trying to think over here. Fucking bitch.
TJ Lane. Back in 2012, TJ Lane unleashed chaos at Chardon High School in Ohio with a sinister motive. He sought revenge on someone he believed was a romantic rival. Trouble seemed to follow Lane, a troubled teen, who tragically took the lives of 3 students and injured 3 others. 2 months before the shooting, he published a disturbing piece of writing on Facebook. "I am death, and you have always been the sod," it read in part. "Now, feel death, not just mocking you, not just stalking you, but inside of you. Wriggle and writhe, feel smaller beneath my might. Seizure in the pestilence that is my scythe. Die, all of you." These ominous words hinted at the horror to come. On this ill-fated day, Lane donned a sweatshirt with the word "killer" written across the chest area, grabbed a .22 caliber handgun from his grandpa's place, and boarded a bus to Chardon High School. In the cafeteria, he opened fire on a group of students, leaving 3 dead and 3 injured.
We get on the PA system? Yeah. Hi, Chardon High School, we had shots fired, gunshots, multiple gunshots. What is your emergency? This is Chardon High School calling. We are in lockdown. We need assistance right now.
Lane ultimately shot 5 male students and 1 female student before running out of the cafeteria, only to be tackled by a teacher named Joseph Rizzi and a coach named Frank Hall. Lane's trial followed a predictable path: swift conviction on 3 counts of aggravated murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, and 1 count of felonious assault. He received 3 life sentences without parole, all while showing no remorse. His courtroom entrance was an orchestrated but bewildering spectacle. As he sat down, Lane unbuttoned his shirt to reveal a white t-shirt with the word "killer" scribbled across it, adding insult to injury.
You will never, ever be in my thoughts after this. Never. My family will move on, not you.
He gave the middle finger to the courtroom and said,
"Same pull the trigger that killed your son, now masturbates to memory. Love you."
The defense argued that Lane's mental health was compromised, pointing to hallucinations and depression. They even claimed he was influenced by another inmate. Despite appeals, Lane's sentence held firm. The drama continued in 2014 when Lane, along with 2 other inmates, briefly escaped prison, causing panic. He was recaptured after a few hours and transferred to a maximum security facility, where he remains today. This next foul-mouthed man cursed his way to prison, and he had to pay the price. Alan McCarty.
Shut the fuck up! I'm trying to think over here. Fucking bitch.
Alan McCarty has made clear he does not like judges, and as a result, he will spend the next 20 years in prison. Unhappy and frustrated, he blamed a judge who he believed had taken away his children in a custody case. In an attempt to vent, he made 4 threatening phone calls to the police, vowing harm to Circuit Judge Stasia Warren and her family.
Yeah, there's about to be a crime that's going to happen if my kids don't come back to me, you stupid bitch, because your stupid judges don't want to bring people to courtrooms. I got a gun pointed at your building.
Sir, what is going on?
Who the you calling, sir, you stupid bitch? Where's your Judge Warren at? You gonna bring that bitch out in handcuffs and I'm gonna execute that son of a bitch right in the street. I'm letting you know I'm gonna shoot this bitch. You gonna give me my kids?
McCarty claimed he had a gun and a bomb, and he was not afraid to use them. He also claimed to know the judge's address and workplace, and he would find her and shoot her in the head. But the authorities weren't blind to his threats. The police traced his calls, resulting in his arrest on charges of corruption by threat against a public official and harassment by use of an electronic device. He found himself behind bars without bond at the Volusia County Jail, where his disruptive behavior continued. During his trial, McCarty showed no respect for the legal proceedings. He yelled profanities at everyone: the judge, the prosecutor, his own public defender, and even the jury. Cooperation was out of the question. He refused his lawyer's attempts to secure a plea deal, insisting on representing himself, only to change his mind later.
I am not under oath. This is being done unconstitutionally. Y'all took my kids unrightfully. You want to allow my witnesses here? You won't allow my paperwork. Y'all took all my court paperwork. And when they all come in here, I'm going to say the same thing. So let's bring them in. Quit wasting my time and bring them in so I can tell them the same thing.
He went on about how the judge had chosen to be unfair to him.
My daddy owns the building and I look like a fucking idiot, huh? Brought your dress today, you little fucking prick. You wanna fucking take my kids from me and act like that? Fuck you and that fucking bitch. You loud with me? Is that what you're gonna do?
No.
Well then do it again, come on. Shut the fuck up, I'm trying to think over here.
McCarty's courtroom antics reached a point where the judge ordered him to be removed, but he didn't go quietly.
Motherfucking take all my paperwork so I can't fucking show these people? You wanna take all my paperwork from me? Lock me in a cell fucking naked all night?
He continued yelling profanities and racial slurs at the judge and the assistant state attorney.
Sorry, we gotta deal with it, folks. I've chosen that room as opposed to duct tape.
In the end, his foul mouth landed him a 20-year prison sentence. McCarty then spent the remainder of his sentencing hearing in another room where he watched the proceeding through one-way glass, the same location he spent much of his trial, according to the newspaper. McCarty's sentencing was scheduled for August 2018, and it was no less chaotic than his trial.
What a bunch of guys, you stupid piece of awesome. You threatened my life, you you
Back room.
suck my
He was again placed in a separate room, and he again unleashed a torrent of obscenities at everyone in the courtroom. McCarty was convicted of 2 counts of threats or extortion and 2 counts of corruption by threat against a public official. The jury, unimpressed by his behavior, swiftly found him guilty of all charges in less than an hour. Facing a potential 15-year sentence, McCarty received 20 years, with an additional 10 days for an obscene suggestion he made to the judge. The judge, Foxman, expressed hope that McCarty would use his time in prison for self-reflection on the gravity of his actions and the repercussions of his anger. However, McCarty showed no signs of remorse. As he was escorted out of the courtroom, he continued to curse and scream, vowing to appeal his conviction and sentence. He declared his innocence, alleging he was a victim of conspiracy. The next courtroom moment will not only annoy you, but make you shiver in disgust at how twisted some humans can be. Ronnie O'Neal.
fictitious government you ever seen. By the time it's all said and done, you will see who is the mass murderer.
Anyone who sees this video would think this man was out to get justice for the person who murdered his girlfriend and daughter and tried to kill his son. But the truth is, this man is a cold-blooded murderer who brutally slaughtered his family. Then he boldly represented himself in court, where he cross-examined his surviving son. On March 18, 2018, around 11:43 p.m., the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office gets a 911 call from a woman named Kenyatta Barron, who turns out to be Ronnie O'Neal's girlfriend and mother of his kids.
What's the address of the emergency, ma'am? What's the address? What's the address of your
I'm
emergency?
shot. Help me, please.
What's your address?
Please,
What's your
my boyfriend shot me. Help me, please. He shot me.
Where?
In the background, Ronnie is yelling maniacally.
Ma'am, hello, ma'am.
8 minutes later, another 911 call comes in. This time, it's supposedly Ronnie himself. He's claiming he got attacked by what he calls white demons.
What is your emergency?
Hey, I just been attacked by some white demons inside, and she tried to kill me. And
What's the address?
Huh?
What's the address of the emergency? Try to attack you?
Yes. She did. She tried to kill me.
According to the police, O'Neal had shot Kenyatta multiple times with a shotgun, then beat her with the butt of the gun. He left her to die in the front yard of their house, but he wasn't done yet. He had 2 more targets. his 2 children, 8-year-old Ronnie IV and 9-year-old Ron Nevea. Ron Nevea had cerebral palsy and was nonverbal. O'Neal slashed her throat with a hatcher and left her to bleed out. Before his son could get away, Ronnie caught him. He stabbed him in the chest and the stomach. He set him on fire. His son was covered in blood. The police found him covered in stab wounds and burn scars, clutching his abdomen to prevent his intestines from falling out. His son said, "My father shot my mother." Ronnie was arrested after a brief struggle with the police. He was taken to a patrol car where he continued to rant and rave. He said his girlfriend was the devil. He said his children were the devil's kids. He said he killed them in self-defense and he loved them. O'Neal faced some serious charges, 2 for first-degree murder, 1 for attempted first-degree murder, 2 for aggravated child abuse, 1 for arson, and 1 for resisting arrest. He could have gotten the death penalty if found guilty. At first, he had a public defender, but he decided to represent himself. Even though everyone advised against it, he claimed the evidence against him was made up. The trial kicked off on June 14, 2021, and lasted a week. It wasn't your typical trial, though. O'Neal's behavior was erratic. He put up a very elaborate opening statement in his murder trial to the shock of everyone in the court. O'Neal told the court that the prosecution's evidence was some of the most vicious, lying, fabricating, fictitious government you have ever seen, while delivering his opening arguments. "I look alone, but I am backed by a mighty God," O'Neal shouted as he gestured and paced in the Tampa courtroom.
In Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, you will know why what occurred on March 18, 2018 occurred. The evidence is going to show that I called 911 during Kenyatta Barron's 911 call. But all of a sudden, it ends up after I called Kenyatta, after Kenyatta Barron's call was made.
One of the most shocking moments of the trial was when O'Neal cross-examined his 11-year-old son, who calmly answered questions, despite his dad's attempts to confuse him.
It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you, too.
Did you see me shoot your mom?
No.
Did I hurt you that night of this incident?
Yes.
I did. And how did I hurt you?
You stabbed me.
The boy confirmed witnessing his father's horrifying acts. O'Neal shooting his mom, beating her, killing his sister, and stabbing him. O'Neal insisted he acted in self-defense, saying the cops coached his son to lie. The jury took 4.5 hours to deliberate and found O'Neal guilty on all counts. Instead of the death penalty, they recommended life in prison without parole. The judge agreed, handing down 3 consecutive life terms plus 60 years on July 23, 2021. And that's it for this video. If you want to see more crazy courtroom moments, check out this video, and don't forget to subscribe.